I just got off a call with a client, and we were talking about using the language that matches the frequency of your greatness. And I know that that can sound somewhat abstract sometimes, or unreachable, or what does that even mean? But it's actually very simple. It is that feeling you get when you're speaking and you get so lost in what you're doing. This can happen when you're painting, you're acting, you're going to the gym, you're playing sport, but you get so lost in what you're doing that the self-critic dissipates. I will often find that when I'm speaking and that language matches the frequency of my greatness, I'll get into a sway. The methodology, which I'm going to run people through obviously next week in the Facebook Live Challenge starting on Monday, June the 1st, the methodology is about getting people into the best possible position, or giving them the best opportunity to be able to get into the space where the language matches the frequency of their greatness. Now, two things have to happen to get into the space. Let's take a step back. When we speak from the language that matches the frequency of our greatness, it means this. You're speaking from the heart brain. The heart brain has a frequency or a vibration. Each day, each moment, but each day, we have a very unique state of being, or a very unique vibration. It's constantly changing, adjusting, spiking, going down, as they do. So the language that we use can be used each day will be influenced by the frequency of our heart brain. So to effectively speak, or give ourselves the opportunity to speak with the frequency that matches our greatness, we have to be speaking from the heart brain. Okay? When we're speaking from the heart brain, we are able then to choose words. We are able then to choose words that match that frequency. We can feel it. You can feel when you are using a space filler, when you are using words that are just there, born of panic or a need to fill the space. And this goes back to the methodology. So, to be into the heart brain, we need to access the state that we're in today. First step of the methodology is no change of state, right? No change of state. Allowing us to use the frequency that we have today instead of trying to adjust it to what we think our audience want to see and hear, because your state today is the gift. Your state today is the gift. So this is why in step one of the methodology is we have no change of state. Just for that, to get out of here, which is where the judgment happens of the state that I'm in today is good, is either good or bad, or positive or negative. There is no negative, positive, good or bad state to be in, to present. That state that you are in each day, each unique moment, is your gift. Then we move into step two, which is head to heart brain. We start to learn to get out of trying to remember what to say, and instead give ourselves a topic and allow us to explore our heart brains, to influence or explore, to find the words that match the frequency today. It's very noisy out here, you can hear the birds. So the heart brain, the frequency will influence. When we learn to get out of here, we learn to allow our vibration and our heart brain to influence our words today, in this moment. And that will be different tomorrow and the next day. The third step is time and space. Now, what most presenters will do on stage or on camera is that when there is space, there is an external pressure from the camera or the live audience to fill this space with words. It is when we fill the space out of panic or a need to just fill the space that we start using words that don't match the frequency of our greatness. And it's when we start to use a word that doesn't make any sense, or it's superfluous, or it's diluting our message. We know it feels clunky, but now you've used a word or a sentence, and now what our brains want to do is follow on from that. So I've said something out of panic from a camera or for a live audience. I've said something out of panic. It doesn't represent, it's not a fair reflection of what I'm really feeling today or what I really want to say from my heart brain. And now that you've said it on stage or camera, you automatically want to keep going. So you start saying another sentence that adds on to the last sentence that doesn't make any sense. It's not what you wanted to say. It's not what you really wanted to articulate. And now we know what happens. Obviously, you keep going and you keep going, and this is where you're halfway through a keynote talk and you're going, what the fuck am I talking about? This makes absolutely no sense. Or why am I telling this stupid story? Why do they need to know this? What you're missing is that ability to sit in the space, the pockets of time between the words, and really sit in that vibration, that frequency of what is happening in here. And when you take the time to really choose the next right word, you sit in that pocket of time and you sit through the uncomfortable and you wait for the comfortable to come back. This is when you start to use the words that you truly want to articulate on your topic. And this is when you start to create your own vocabulary. When you speak from that heart brain, you start to create your own vocabulary, your own words. People often ask where I get my vocabulary. It's very me. We are all capable of doing this. If you look at the Dispenzas and Anthony Robbins and probably the people that you admire on stage or on camera, they speak with their own language, and that language has come from in here. Make sense? Tess, this helped you live when you were yesterday. I thought you were, for that first time that you did that live test, and with that having to also deal with the crew and probably not quite knowing what shot is next, I thought you did a fantastic job, by the way. Kudos for you. So that own vocabulary starts to become your own. You start to where do you think conduit for infinite wisdom and the heart-brain vibration, using language that matches the frequency of your greatness? And this all come from when I was speaking in this space. Then it becomes my go-to. My language becomes my leverage. Ooh, that was good. My language becomes my leverage. I'm just going to say it one more time just to really bring it home. That language becomes my leverage. It becomes my methodology. It becomes what separates me from another speaker. Now, most speakers and most people on camera who are trying to leverage their business through presenting, and I don't say this in a bad way, it is a bad way, but I don't say this in a mean way, most people live in the space of the saturated level of mediocrity. It is the saturated level. It is the I'm not able to stand out. I'm part of the crowd. I can feel it, and that lowers your vibration as well. The more that you're able to use your own language, the more that you start to separate yourself from other people. And the only way to get into that space to start using your own language is to not change state, to not deem your state to be wrong or right or negative or positive to your presenting today, and being able to get out of here and into your heart brain and speak from the words that match your frequency, your vibration today. And then time and space, being able to explore the pockets of time between the words, to truly take your time to find what you want to articulate around your topic. The word pulling a word that matches your frequency today. I should just quit while I'm ahead.